Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee, Books, and Rain, where we may not have coffee or rain, but we have some water. So, hydration, very important. I did just finish a D&D session, so I may look a little bit interesting, so to speak. I am debating on maybe playing this look up. I have a bodysuit that kind of goes with it, but I'm thinking of playing this look up with maybe wings or maybe dragon aesthetics. I'm not sure, but it feels like a really fun, cool costume. Like these are just kind of like those gold face. They're like the gold, kind of like stick 'em face tattoos. They went on really easily. I was very surprised. This was my first time wearing them, so thought they looked kind of cool. And then I got the cool contacts, which were also really fun. And I can see pretty well because they are prescription, and I definitely need them in order to see. But with all of that being said, let us dive into our book of the evening, which is called The Whispering Night, The Luminaires, number 3 by Susan Dennard. Now, I will say that it is my bad for not realizing this was number 3. However, I do think I was given quite a pretty good bit of information to help me know what's going on in this book. So I am already interested in readings book 1 and 2. I just finished this book up this morning. It was before D&D, so I finished listening to the audiobook again this morning, and I picked this up because it looked really cool. It's got a supernatural vibe for sure, urban fantasy, young adult, and it says horror, but I'm not sure I would really put it in the genre of horror. I would definitely put it in the realm of like the fantasy, urban fantasy, definitely put it in the YA realm. Supernatural, but I don't know if I'm really categorizing the horror aspect of it. And I think that's just personally my thoughts on that particular genre. Um, it's missing some elements for me when it comes to fitting into that genre. Um, Now, I will say the main character is Winnie, and her name is Winnie Wednesday, and from what I'm to understand, I guess that really is her last name, but it's an interesting dynamic. And I think that's one of the reasons I needed to go back and read the first two. I listened to this whole audiobook. Then, of course, I go on Goodreads so I can provide my review, and then I can see what other people are saying before I come on here. And that is only the moment when I realized I was missing 2 previous books. I went through this whole book not realizing I was already on book 3. Now, that's my fault again for not really paying attention. I will definitely be having go back and picking up the other two because I did enjoy this one. I love a pretty good urban fantasy like YA book. This one's got some really cute little romance in it, and I say cute because like the main characters seem to be, gosh, 16, 17 years old. They are like, I think Winnie is a junior in high school. So, again, probably not more than 16 or 17 years old. And most of the other characters are like, again, teenage. And then you have like the adult counterparts. But let's dive into the summary real quick and then we'll go from there. The forest is more dangerous than ever in this highly anticipated, pulse pounding, and swoon worthy conclusion to the best selling Luminaires trilogy. So I didn't know this was the finale. Now it does end really great, and again, I'm going to have to get the first two so I can get back up to this point and see how it all culminated with these events. Because honestly, just reading this one was really good. Um, Winnie Wednesday's future is looking bright. Hemlock Falls is no longer hunting the werewolf. She and Erica Thursday are tentative friends, and Winnie finally knows where she stands with Jay Friday. With everything finally on track, Winnie is looking forward to the Nightmare Masquerade, a week-long celebration of all things luminary. But As the Luminaires from across the world flock to the small town, uninvited guests also arrive. Winnie is confronted by a masked Diana, charged with an impossible task, one that threatens everything and everyone Winnie loves. As Winnie fights to stop new enemies before time runs out, old mysteries won't stop intruding. Her missing father is somehow entangled with her search for hidden witches. And as Winnie digs deeper into the long-standing war between the Luminaires and the Dianas, she discovers rifts within her own family she never could have imagined. What does loyalty mean when family and enemies look the same? So, again, this is book number 3 of the Luminaires, expected to release November 19th of 2024. This does come from Tor Teens, and it's approximately 380 pages. I want to say my audiobook, and I maybe even made a note, was somewhere around 14 hours. So pretty good. I mean, definitely gets you where you're going in this particular novel. If this is book 3, then we are finally coming to a head with regards to what I expect has been a waiting game for some of the other books. I can't wait to kind of go back and find those for sure, because I I listened to it, I read it, did not realize it was number 3, and I loved it. I definitely give this again a 4.25 stars. And that's just my personal rating, because I did feel like, and I remember telling myself, why do I feel like I'm missing something? And it must have happened in books 1 and book 2. So that was one of my big questions, is why do I feel like I'm coming in kind of in the fourth quarter of like a football game? It's like I see where we are now and how things are going to round out. I understand what's going on, and some of the replays and recaps kind of give me the idea of how we got here. However, I didn't watch the full game, so I may not know all the ins and outs. There is Winnie gets nominated, and I don't know if you've read the other ones, so just go and read the other ones if you want. If you don't, I will do my best not to spoil it, but since this is book 3, it may be hard for me to not spoil some of the things that might be in books 1 and 2 that I don't know how to resolve without talking about. Since I didn't read those, I don't know how to, I guess, skirt the edges, so to speak. But Winnie is kind of feeling pretty good. She's kind of got some notoriety for something that happened, and so she's feeling pretty good about things. However, there is this particular nightmare masquerade where I guess delegates from all around the world will show up and kind of visit, and Winnie gets nominated for this kind of like prom queen. But the thing is it was supposed to be various individuals from different years in the school, like maybe like 2 or so from each year. Well, instead of doing like, I guess, this nightmare court, where they're not, the Luminaires are not nightmares. That's who they supposedly fight, is nightmares. Winnie becomes the sole representative of this court, and they don't even choose like a senior homecoming king and queen. They just choose Winnie. Winnie is the girl, and she is like, how in the world did this happen to me? Erica is also coming back into her life after some information that gets revealed. It sounds like we might have gotten this information in book 2. So I am trying to keep that a little bit on the low key, but it sounds like Erica and Winnie's friendship was more or less strained for a while due to some information that Erica was kind of keeping from from the group, the WTF group, which is the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday group. And so it was Winnie Wednesday, Erica Thursday, and Jay Friday. Well, so now it's kind of like Winnie and Erica sometimes talk, and Winnie and Jay are, let's go ahead and say it, they're dating, and it's really cute. I mean, it must be a new thing. Must have happened more or less at the end of book 2. So that's where I'm saying is like, I can tell that some of these events must have culminated in book 2 to get us here. So I only want to dabble in it a little bit. I don't want to spoil it too much if, again, you're interested in reading it. But now there's a week-long celebration called the Nightmare Masquerade where the Luminaires from around the globe will be visiting, including uninvited Dianas, and one confronts Winnie, threatening to do the worst things to her, to those she loves than the spell she cast upon Winnie. So Winnie does carry around a spell on her right now. And so if you want to know more about that, you know what you got to do. You got to read. Or you can email me and I guess I can just spoil it for you. But either way, whatever you prefer. Winnie sorts through the clues, including those her father left behind because she knew the Diana's threat was more of a promise. And then there was still the whisper in the forest. So the whisper in the forest is a very interesting aspect that I think is better clarified in the first and second books. And so when I get to this book, they very tangentially talk about it. It's there, it's a presence, but it's not what feels like to me kind of this main presence. And I'm not really sure how to describe what I'm talking about. Yes, it seems important. Yes, there's a specific thing that's trying to happen, but it feels as though this whisper is something that was a much bigger conversation in books 1 or 2. This third and final book of the series is really pretty good, and so I'm just kind of reading this. It says there's not a lot of violence, gore, or adult content, so it's suitable for readers 14 and older. Yeah, I would agree with that. It says 14 and older. I'm just wondering. Yeah, I would say maybe junior high school level is probably where I would keep it at. And I think when I was 14, I was probably a freshman in high school. So that sounds about right. Overall, really good. I think since again this is book 3, I must have missed some of the other monster fights, which probably were really cool. And I also probably missed again some of the drama from the friendships, from the family members, from other people in the kind of community. I think I missed some of that drama. So it would be nice to go back and read those books to kind of, again, understand some of the dynamics that are in this particular book. I am missing a little bit of it. And I am just trying to see if there was anything else, if anybody else made a comment more so than what I've mentioned without me, again, going over into spoiler territory. I am very curious about books 1 and 2 and kind of how we got here. Really, thought they did well with the ending without kind of divulging anything about it because again I don't want to spoil it. You got to read it or message me, I guess, to find out what I think of the ending. But overall, very good, very entertaining. It is YA. You just have to acknowledge that this is not like any sort of highbrow reading. It is kind of a little bit of YA romance. There's lots of pining and sadness and grief and all this stuff going on at different points in the book over different reasons. So again, not trying to give anything away, just letting you know we've got a lot of angsty teen emotions going on. We are still working through a tough time with the friendship with Erica and Winnie. So we are trying to get that back on track. And I think it culminates really well. So, with all of that being said, I hope that you guys, if anything, are entertained by me sitting here talking to you guys about it. If not, let me know a book that you want me to review, because I think that's always a really fun thing that I enjoy doing. Is if you guys are interested in a book, whether it's past or coming up, let me know either down below or in my email, and let's see if I can get around to it. I know my November and December are. Oh, wait. My November's almost done. So we won't add any books to November. And in fact, I think I have a hair that's trying to get in my mouth. I think I ended up having to take 3 of them out of the reviews because I'm just not going to get to them before the end of the month. I am going to add a few of those back into December because I did realize in NetGalley that there's not as many books releasing in December. And maybe it's just a quiet month. That's totally fine. It gives me a chance to catch up on some of the books that I have to read right now. So I'm good with it. And hopefully I will continue to decorate my little background. It is pretty sparse right now, but I have not pulled out any of my other Christmas stuff. This is just some kind of newer stuff. So I've got a little Christmas tree. I've got a little reindeer, a little Santa. This little house does light up, and I did not light it up yet, but it looks kind of like it's a glow. It's probably just from the light. I'm kind of looking in my little monitor, the thing, to see what everything looks like from behind me. But I will see you guys on the next page. I hope you have a great one, and I hope you'll like and subscribe. Come back and see me again. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.